Here's a wonderful fun fact. We get to do that all over again because I didn't click record on my my video output.
You've
That's fine,
ruined
because
everything, Jeremy.
You're welcome.
Dylan was in the next room throwing my child around, playing loudly. I'm like, shut up, we're recording.
You know what? I'm just
we
glad
weren't.
I caught it right now at the introduction instead of 30 minutes in where I was like, oh, fuck. I guess the first portion of our video is just not going to be there. God, it's just one of those days. Hello and welcome again. Welcome back. Unintended Adventures. This is a Dungeon World Play podcast. I'm Jeremy, your host and game master. I forgot to hit record, so we're doing this again. Last off, our team was at the brink of beating each other at the hands of a necromancer, which cast a unruly spell, enraging them to the point of murdering each other. So let's find out who our team is before they start to wail on each other.
Hello, my name is Alec from the 321 Backlog podcast. I'm going to be playing Handy, a tiny goblin druid.
Hi, my name is Jake, and I'll be playing Time, the human Emily.
My name is Matthew. I will be your human paladin.
And I am Shiloh, better known online as Karish, and I will be playing Rose, your sticky-fingered thief.
Who was pitted off against each other? I think it was Rose and Mimi were hating on each other. So let's back up a bit.
Getting ready to, yeah.
There's a system in this game known as bonds, which describes the individual relationships between players. And when bonds are resolved, you earn experience. After our last episode, all of our players got the chance to create some bonds to describe the relationships with each other. So let's go ahead and hear those bonds, starting with Handy.
Shoot, did I?
Handy is not ready.
I think they're...
Let's start with Rose.
Cool, yeah. So I have 2 bonds currently. The one that I started with, which do you want me to share that one?
Of course,
Or just the
share
one that
them all.
Okay. Well, this one may come up. We'll find out. Rose allegedly stole something from Time. Allegedly. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And then Mimi insulted me by never believing in how I handle situations.
So Mimi, let's hear what you have to say.
I watched her make friends with the enemy. My previous bond with her from last session was confirmation that her actions are jeopardizing her soul. Which we resolved that, like making friends with the people who were attacking us kind of solidified that for me.
I think if you ask the common person, befriending a demon does jeopardize your soul. Most people would agree with that.
There were circumstances.
So do you have any bonds at the moment?
I do. I have bonds with both Handy and Time. Bond with Handy is that he has stood by me in battle and can be trusted completely. And bond with Time is that he is brave and I have a lot to learn from him.
All right, Handy.
Let's see. So the ones I had that I'm remembering now, it's been a minute. Time smells like a campfire, and I want to know why. And Primrose is small like me, so she's a lot more trustworthy than all the taller folk.
I love the height-based community.
That's the best way to trust somebody or to base someone's trustworthiness on is their height.
All right, and Time.
Handy has felt the hellish touch of fire, and he now knows my strength. The other one is I will teach Mimi the true meaning of sacrifice. And the last one is, I guess, something else that may come up later on, as I cast something in the fire for Rose and still owe her due.
Right now, it is Mimi v. Rose and Handy v. Time. The necromancer basically snapped his fingers and walked back into his shadowy portal. Not only are you confused, but you are enraged, and you feel the need to assault your partner. What are you guys doing? Whose blood is boiling the most?
I'll volley Handy with my spear.
Throw it at him.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it at him because I know there's at least a little bit of a difference between me and him, and he was throwing stuff at me.
That's true. He did hit you with a cup.
Seems only fair to throw something back at him. So I'm gonna take my flaming spear and throw it at him.
All right, go ahead and roll a volley.
So 9, partial success. I have to move to get shot, placing me in danger. You have to take what you can get.
I think Jake just disappeared. He volleyed too hard. Oh, he missed Handy and hit his router.
See how I must have.
Welcome back.
You look great.
Okay, I have no idea what happened there.
All right, so you rolled a volley. You got a 9 in total. When you take aim, shoot an enemy, roll plus dex. Choose one. You have to move to get the shot, placing you in danger of the GM's choice. You have to take what you can get, minus 1d6 damage. You have to take several shots, reducing your ammo by 1, which doesn't really count because all you have is your single spear.
I figured I'd move to get the shot.
Okay. You're gonna hurl your spear at Handy. Handy, what are you doing? There is now a flaming spear flying in your direction.
Yeah, I want to shapeshift, and I'm hoping to like shrink down and get out of the way. But I want to use my shapeshifter to do so. And let's see what we're gonna get.
What are you gonna? All right. So what are you gonna roll into?
We're gonna roll into. I think I want to get small and out of the way, but I think the danger coming towards me just kind of confuses me, so I go into more of a defensive mode. So I kind of shrink myself a little bit, but then I start getting larger, and a bear shows up in the center of the tavern, and I will start lashing towards him when I'm able to do so.
Do you have to roll to shapeshift?
No, I'm doing a little thing on my own to mix it up for me.
Right, but you're like, as a druid, is it a skill that requires rolling?
Yeah, so I rolled a 13. I got a success. I have 3 hold.
I didn't see the roll. That's why I'm confused
Gotcha.
as to what happened.
Yeah. So I rolled a 13, so it is a success. I have 3 hold from my shapeshifter ability. And the form that was selected is the bear form.
Okay, so you start to shrink down, and then is it a conscious choice to move into a bear?
No.
Okay. I get the impression that you're like a wild magic druid where you don't really have control over your shapeshifting.
I don't do it very often, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on, so it sometimes doesn't go my way.
I like it. It keeps things interesting. Well, you just became a bigger target, so you're going to take a spear. Well, we'll decide where in a moment. Time, you want to go ahead and roll your damage?
So we're gonna 5 on the damage.
Handy, do you have any armor?
Yes, I have 1 armor.
All right, so you're going to take 4 points of damage as this flaming spear embeds itself in your shoulder. It's also hot because it's on fire. I bet you it tickles.
Yeah. It just lets out a roar and is going to lunge in the direction it came from.
Okay, so you're going to make an attack?
I would like to, yes.
All right, go ahead and roll a hack and slash.
Oh, that is a success.
When you attack an enemy in melee, roll plus strength, and you got an 11, so you got a full success. You deal your damage to the enemy and avoid their attack. At your option, you may choose to do plus 1d6 damage, but expose yourself to the enemy's attack. Now, I'm going to say this. Given his throw, he kind of overcompensated in trying to throw it at you. And in doing so, kind of fell down and put himself on one knee and has kind of his throwing arm towards you. So you can take that extra d6 without any penalty. He is at disadvantage.
So the first one, 0 damage because I have a -1, plus an additional d6, which ended up being 6.
How do you have a -1?
I'm a tiny little goblin. Well, that's the thing. It doesn't change my stats from bear form.
So you're rolling plus strength. For your shapeshift, is it always plus strength?
No, to get into shapeshifted form, it's a wisdom roll. That's how I get the extra hold. And then the hack and slash, there's no extra strength benefit, but I do have to roll strength for a melee attack.
You do have to. It doesn't say that you can use wisdom or something else as your modifier.
Oh, I don't believe so. Let me just double check.
Like how mine, whenever I activate my powers, it bases off of my intelligence and not my strength or dexterity.
As written, no. There's no change to my stats when I'm in shapeshifted form.
Damn.
I think unless you deem so.
Mm-hmm.
I need to back the hell away. I'm hurt.
Time, what's your armor looking like?
Oh, I have no armor.
So, ouch.
Yeah. So I take full 6.
At least you had a miss on that first d6, because that could have gone bad. How's y'all's HP looking?
9 out of 15.
6.
Yeah, the 0 is me grabbing your sleeve and just not doing any damage, but then ragdolling you back and forth and like slamming you against stuff. So I didn't do any damage. It's me just like moving you around and you hitting like furniture and chairs, all that.
Yeah, you successfully You have successfully twice now assaulted him with the furniture and decor in the bar.
Yep.
You've actually done no damage to him. It's all been things
It's not me.
It's right. You can make that claim later. So now you guys are going at it. Now, what's happening with Mimi and Rose?
I was already really concerned and sort of borderline aggressive with her previous to a berserker's rage. So I am just going to go straight into a hack and slash and try and wallop her for being a sinner and a traitor.
As he does that, I would like to defend.
Okay.
I should say before you defend that less of a killing blow. Like I'm not trying to skewer her so much as like discipline, right? Like an aggressive wallop.
I'm still going to defend against
You-
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, as you should, but I
But
just
see,
want to
here's the
clarify my
thing. That
intentions.
might have been your response if you were in control.
Oh, okay.
But you are bordering on seeing red in a ways that you have not before. So you
Okay.
might be approaching this thinking that like, oh, I'm really going to teach her, but your follow through is going to include extra oomph that you didn't know you were ready to give. Maybe that's something that's going to catch you off guard later, something to think about, but
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and roll my defend now because that gives me choices if I
Mhm.
roll well. That's a 6. So,
So,
complications.
when you stand in defense of a person, item, or location under attack, roll plus constitution. So long as you stand in defense when you or the thing you defend is attacked, you may spend 1 hold for 1 to choose an option. Redirect an attack from the thing you defend to yourself. Half the attack's effect or damage. Open up the attacker to an ally, giving that ally +1 forward against the attacker, or deal damage to the attacker equal to your level. But you
I
rolled a
failed
6.
the roll.
But you're going to learn something. So you get some experience. So go ahead and mark that.
Yay. All right, proceed with your attack.
Yeah.
So you rolled a 9. Deal your damage to the enemy, and the enemy makes an attack against you. So go ahead and roll your damage.
4.
Are you speaking to yourself or to us, Rose?
Oh,
Oh, that was me. That was me doing math. Because
Okay.
math is hard.
Saw your mouth moving,
Yes.
but nothing happening. So
Calculating.
I was like, okay, what's
Yeah,
what's
no,
happening?
that was me subtracting 3 from 12 because math is hard.
Now, what does
So
your
I
attack
get
look
a-
like, Mimi?
I'm irresponsibly raging right now. So less coherent and dexterous and more like full on, full swing wallop. Like I just arc through the air, full commit.
All right. Well, you're going to swing wide and clock a patron or two in your follow through because it's blind rage. You're not paying attention to your surroundings. You're just like, I have to squish the tiny thing. It's evil.
Yeah.
And you're going to come down and wallop her for 4. But Rose is going to see an opportunity to stabby stab.
I have a question. On his damage, it says +1 damage. Should that actually be a 5?
What did he roll?
+1.
He rolled
I
a
did
4
roll
on
a
the
4.
die.
I saw a 4 pop up. That's a good question. Is that what that says? It usually adds it by itself, though. Wonder
What's
if
your
I have
character sheet
something-
say for damage? You're just a D8, right?
Oh,
Or a D10.
a D10, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that +1 is for. And you don't have
Also-
anything additive at the moment for your character.
Not that I'm familiar with.
Right.
Okay, yeah, let's go with 4. I don't know why it says a 1. Just out of curiosity. This roll doesn't count. That's a good roll.
It
It
did
worked
it
that
again.
time.
You rolled a 9 and it added a 1.
Yeah, but that time it actually added it.
Yeah.
I didn't have it added in my damage box.
Well, see,
prior.
down, you can see the two. One says D10, one says D10 +1. So I think we'll say it's without the +1 for now.
Well, there's a reason to justify it.
So Rose, go ahead and roll your damage. No, he closed the distance. He swung at you. He did not swing cleanly. You are open to roll and then describe what it is you're doing to inflict harm.
So, what? No, don't put the +2. It's supposed to be a 1 because I get a +2 when I attack with a ranged weapon, but I'm not attacking with a ranged weapon.
Mhm.
And I deleted the +2, but it didn't do that. So as Mimi like smacks her, he's got to stab down at her, right? Like he's got a long halberd, or,
Arky
his
swing.
long- yeah, big swing. Saw it like he leaves his side wide open after he smacks her, so she just pulls out her rapier And Jessica's like, what is wrong with you? I was trying to help us. And just like does a little like slap with her rapier.
Do you have any armor, Mimi?
I do have armor. It's special. It's the equivalent of scale mail, but it looks like leather.
Does it repel damage any?
It does, to the amount of 2.
So Rose pulls out a rapier. Basically, is it a stab or a slap?
With that damage roll, it was more of a slap.
Okay, so you basically feel like this thud and this small vibration at your side as she smacks you with her rapier. And at this time, both of you all have exchanged some blows. That voice from before speaks to you again.
You guys need to stop fighting. Stop it at once.
Go ahead and roll, all of you, a Defy Danger Wisdom.
I got a 7.
6.
4.
You got a 7.
So
It counts for you. That's what's nice.
make sure that if you fail, you mark experience. Mimi and Handy, you think you can have a conversation with this voice in your head, so you tell it to piss off because you're in the middle of something. Time and Rose, you're able to kind of shake off this aggression, but only until you realize that, Time, you're stuck with some bear claws in you, and Rose, you've got a large stabbed hammer still kind of thwacked against your side, which is going to leave a nice bruise. I mean, in relation to you versus it, there is a size discrepancy here. So it's not just like, this is a good chunk of your body that has been hit by this. And you manage to kind of shake it off, and then you're like, nope, this isn't over. Time, you thought you cleared your head, but man, this bear is annoying.
Yep. So I'm gonna, if I'm still kind of under the effects, then oh, it's not what he would actually do. But since I'm here, I'm gonna do my best to, I guess, pull myself off the claw and then try to jump up for my spear and try to, because I imagine it's still in his shoulder or wherever I hit him.
It is still there.
I want to use as much momentum as I can to grab back onto the spear and then push in further.
So you want to escape his grab and then grab the spear and drive it in.
Yeah, unless he's like, let me. I mean, if I'm still in the grab, or if it was just kind of like a ragdoll and flung, or if I'm still in his grasp. Which one?
You're very. I'm taking you down, bro.
Either that or somehow I want to make it. I want to see if I can make it to grabbing the spear and pushing in further.
So go ahead and make a contested strength roll between you two.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the downside of being a not strong character is, well, strength's coming in clutch right now. Handy rolled a 10.
So
he rolled an 11, but he had a -1.
Okay, so again, what am I just rolling?
You can click on the word strength in your character sheet.
Yeah, that'll work too.
And it'll do your modifier and all that.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Just going at it.
Oh, this is interesting.
So here's what I'm going to say. You rolled a 10 as well, so you both rolled a 10. You're going to have the capacity to reach up and grab the weapon, but he's still going to be holding on to you. So essentially, you're still entangled with each other, but you're going to be able to move to grab the weapon and make your attack.
Okay.
But he still has you in his claws.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
So time to drive an already embedded fire spear further into a bear. Go ahead and roll your hack and slash.
8.
You deal your damage to the enemy, and the enemy gets to deal damage to you. So go ahead and roll your damage. Woof.
Oh,
that's a 9.
Question is, do I damage him? Oh wait, no, I have armor. Never mind. I was going to say, do I damage
points,
him?
huh?
Yeah, but I'm going down to 8.
So you're going down to 1.
I'm going down to 1. Excuse me, and I'm damaging him back.
Yep.
Oh no.
Right. 5.
Go ahead and describe what it looks like as you bury this spear.
This is intense. Real quick, with Handy. So I imagine because he's trying to push it out, so he's probably using just. He's also not a very strong guy himself, so it's just taking almost everything he's got. So I imagine just get back up to his feet. He kind of like lunges up for the spear, and almost kind of like simultaneously, because he goes to push Time down, pushes in the spear as he's kind of being pushed back down by Handy.
Handy, you have it buried into the front portion of your shoulder. and he gives it enough force to send it through the other side, basically out your back. So it has now impaled you completely. Luckily, it's cauterizing as it goes, so that's that's important. What do you do to retaliate?
I figure since he's gone farther in, now he's closer to me. So I'm going to grab whatever limb is in front with a hack and slash.
With
With
your
my
mouth?
Yes.
Well, what do you do? No, you don't have to roll.
Oh, yeah, I'm biting.
Yeah, you rolled your damage. Didn't you roll your damage already? You did.
Oh,
You
I
do
did.
5.
Yeah.
Sorry, I misunderstood. Yes. Yes, I as he lunges in, I take the opportunity of him being closer and just biting and just continuing that feral lashing back and forth. Just
This is the first time you get to do damage.
Yep.
First bit damage
It's
you
not a
done.
bar stool or a tankard or a cup. So what are you biting?
I guess his forearm.
So you got a claw in one arm and a mouthful of the other one.
Yep.
I think you're pretty well restrained at this point. Although Handy is pretty much near death.
Yeah, breathing super heavily. You can feel like a shake.
I'm right there with you. I got one left.
Rose, what's you went and cleared your mind after you went and smacked Mimi with your rapier, and it
Yeah.
really just irritates you that you didn't do anything. You're like, oh,
I
that armor
didn't
was
do anything,
yeah.
and I didn't do anything wrong. He's making a big deal out of nothing.
It's pretty unfair.
It is very unfair. So I'm gonna smack him with my sword again. I gotta smack some. I'm gonna go for his knees because that's easily accessible to me.
All you can reach.
Ooh, I could reach. Never mind.
Jeremy's instigating.
I would never.
So I rolled hack and slash, and I got a 5.
Well, it is really frustrating when you get on a bad streak. You try so hard again, and you're like, I'm going to do it better this time. But when you're flustered like that, it's really easy to get ahead of yourself, and you miss entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question is, how do you miss? Were you trying to go like through a knee, hi-ya stabby, or more of a slashing bit?
I think rapiers are. So she would have been swinging, like trying to slice his knee, and he could, with the height and just how frustrated she is. She's not trying to hide what she's doing. She's very to an experienced fighter. She's pretty telegraphically showing her moves ahead of time, so he could very easily probably just step to the side or step backwards to avoid this. Her swinging this rapier.
Mimi, you see her wind up.
Yeah.
You know what's happening. What are you gonna do?
I just do a little bit of this. I'm just it's like that. And to the audio listeners,
You're gonna have to describe that because I can't.
I did. I'm not.
It's one of those cartoony moves where the character just stretches their whole body to the side.
Yeah. I just kind of gumbied my leg out of the way. Yeah. A little bit of the honest to goodness, the closest thing that comes to my mind is a Goofy movie when they're jamming out with Powerline on stage. I'm pretty sure Goofy does it.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna scooch on over, and your blade's gonna miss entirely. Except it's not gonna miss everything. It's gonna go and thwack itself into his weapon and get stuck. So your rapier is now embedded into. What do we call your weapon? A staff, a halberd, a hammer. It seems like there's a lot of options. A staff?
I would
stave?
like to call it a roofing halberd.
A roofing halberd.
Yes.
Okay. Well, your roofing halberd has an upgrade of an extra rapier attached to it.
Excellent. Now it's dual wield.
He's sitting there with it stuck in it, give me my rapier back.
I'm gonna trip myself. I've got a rapier sticking out of my weapon at knee level.
So what are you doing?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Am I still super mad at her? I've just easily dodged her pathetic ankle attack. And Yeah, no, I'm gonna go and whack her again. But this time, I'm gonna whack her with her own rapier. I'm gonna spin my roofing halberd around. And I'm gonna smack her on her backside with her own weapon.
How dare you?
All right. So this is a unique situation. You've got a lot of talent with your halberd.
Yeah, practice.
You've got a lot of practice.
Yeah.
This is something you've trained with. You have never
This is kind of a new
trained
one.
with it having a sword sticking out of it. So your intuition and clearances about where it should be might not track the right way. So if you want to make this attempt, you're going to have to do a defy danger first to make sure that you don't cut yourself or the people around you with it as you do whatever
Makes sense. Yeah,
flashy swing you're about to take on her.
accidentally hamstring myself.
Mm-hmm.
What this would
might have
be,
been the
I feel
plan
like
all
this is.
along.
That's I'm just out.
You take out your knees yourself.
Yeah, this innkeeper's gonna have to employ me and give me a free room. Wahaha. This is a dex-based defy danger roll, I would assume.
I think that makes the most sense.
I concur. That's a 9. Nope, -1. Damn it! Why am I? I was an 8. I don't know why I have a -1. Really clumsy, apparently.
Is your dex modifier a
That's
-1?
probably
Yeah. Yeah.
So defy danger. When you act despite an imminent threat or suffer calamity, say how you deal with it and roll. If you do, by getting out of the way or acting fast with dexterity. So you're just trying to nimbly manage this weapon as you're throwing it.
Back in the day in the village, we used to play like the jump rope equivalent with long sticks, you know, that game. I just kind of like instinctively summoned back in the day when we used to jump sticks as kids. And so I just kind of like, as I swing my roofing halberd up around, I just step over her rapier so that I don't trip myself or cut myself.
Well, so you got a partial success. So you stumble, hesitate, or flinch. The GM will offer you a worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice. So you can decide to step out of the way and bypass damaging yourself, but you're going to inflict serious harm to one of the patrons standing nearby you. Or you can let it graze you to maintain that weapon proximity to yourself and then make your attack against her, which you still have to roll, by the way. This is just the flourish of it. So you can either really hurt someone else or hurt yourself.
I mean, I guess so. Okay. So I go to step over it, kind of stumble. And I mean, I'm totally going to opt to slice my own calf before I hurt a pedestrian or bystander.
Well, let's figure out something else. Go ahead and roll your hack and slash.
Okay. That's a 10.
All right. You can absolutely decide which one it is that's going to happen. So you're going to cut yourself.
Yeah, I will take a minor facial wound to myself over any wound to someone innocent. Yeah.
All right. So you rolled a 10, which means you deal your damage to the enemy and avoid their attack. At your option, you may choose to do an additional 1d6 damage, but expose yourself to the enemy's attack.
Okay.
So what do you want to do?
Whacker.
Are you going to do any additional damage? You'll take extra damage on top of that.
No, I don't. I just want to whack her on the butt.
Okay. Go ahead and
with her own sword, of course.
Roll your damage. Rose, you can also roll damage for your effective offhand weapon attack with your rapier.
For what?
Your unarmed rapier attack on my thigh, calf, hamstring.
So would I just roll damage?
Yep.
Well, it says I expose. Wouldn't I have to roll to attack? Because
No,
says you expose yourself.
No, so your weapon is embedded in his.
Yeah.
Right.
He
failed his ability to navigate hitting you with it, so he's taking damage from the rapier.
Gotcha. Okay, so damage.
Do you have armor, Rose?
Yes, I have 1 armor.
So in this exchange, you did damage. Mimi swung and missed.
I mean, I whacked her.
You got
I just
me.
didn't do any damage.
My armor absorbed it. She's
as intended.
Leather armor on.
I whacked you on the bottom with the grip of your sword.
See, I think what happened was, you had the whole pattern in your head. I'm gonna flail it this way and then swing it this way. And to compensate, to protect those around me, it's going to take me in the calf. But as it hits your calf, it just like, it pulls all the momentum out of the weapon. And then it just kind of comes in with a nice little thud.
It's a little pat.
See, you don't even know how to use a rapier. Just give it back.
I don't. I mean, I want a volley, and I'm just gonna shake it at her like an at-lattle. I just want to at-lattle or freaking rapier at her.
All I can imagine now is like, you know, Mimi sitting there with his halberd and like shaking it, and then like Rose jumps up and is hanging on to it and is just like flailing around trying to get it back.
So can I volley to throw her sword at her, or rapier at her?
What were you going to say, Jake?
No, I was.
Or time?
I love the dichotomy of the difference between the two fights. Mine and Andy's is like very aggressive and visceral, and theirs is like a
Slapstick comedy
yes,
over
there
here.
you
Like a parent and child going at it. I didn't do anything
Although
wrong, Dad.
I think Rose is older than he is.
Oh, I know.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember
Great.
how old I am. Gotta be in my 20s. I feel like I'm in my 20s.
Yeah, Rose is 36.
Oh, grandma over here. Yeah.
You guys have been brawling for what feels like ages, and you haven't really been paying attention to your surroundings. It's been pretty focused on what's going on between you and the person threatening your life. But for a beat, y'all are able to stop and notice that people are starting to move again. Time isn't totally back to normal, but you are in the moments leading up to it where you are about to break into normality. Now, what do you guys want to do? You can try to shake off this effect or just keep at it. Player's choice.
I want my rapier back.
So, Rose,
That's all I want right now.
All right. Solid choice. It's good to be armed.
Oh, he's the time has used his third charge of his fire, so his fire is gone. We're trying to break the spell.
I think I'm still affected. So for the sake of not losing a character on episode 2, I should probably try and shake the effect. So what was that roll?
Well, let's start with Rose, because she's got a rapier to retrieve.
Yes.
So what are you doing?
What am I doing? Great question. I trying to look through all my like special moves that I get. Like, will any of these help me?
I would be very surprised if retrieve weapon was a move set.
Yeah, dang. I wish. Should be. I would like to. Well, that's not gonna work. It's with a melee weapon. I'm just gonna kick him in the shin, and hopefully, I kick him hard enough that he'll drop his weapon.
So is she dangling from the rapier? Is she standing in front of me? I'm not entirely sure where we're
at this point. I think
point.
I'm just standing in front of you after
Okay.
you knocked yourself in your shin.
Okay.
So, so she's just gonna run up and just like start, like you see in like cartoons or whatever, like the little person, like the smaller person is.
Give it back.
So yeah, I'm just gonna kick. I assume that's still a hack and slash.
Yep.
I assume that's melee.
Yep.
That's a 6. Boy, I'm doing so well in XP this week.
You're gonna level up soon.
Maybe. I
Maybe.
don't remember how much it is to level up. But so yeah, I rolled a 5 and did not do anything.
So,
Or at least I did. I don't know. Maybe I just hit, but it's not doing anything.
you get like a much larger person. They just put their hand on kid's head and they're just swinging and not hitting anything. That's more or less what's happening here, except you're just like your feet are flailing. Mimi, you're free to retaliate.
I still want to flick her sword at her. I'm gonna flick her rapier. She keeps asking for a rapier, and then she kicks at me, and I deftly dodged it again. But I'm just gonna try and unhinge, unseat her rapier from my roofing halberd and give her what she keeps asking for.
All right.
Point first. So is that a volley? Yeah. I feel
No,
like that's a
you can
point.
go ahead and just roll damage.
Ah, good.
She came in and exposed herself.
Hiya.
So how is this rapier removing itself from your weapon and impacting her?
I envision that her rapier's blade is stuck into the haft of my roofing halberd, and I'm just going to try and flick it. And so I'm going to use the centrifugal force which is going to flex her rapier, right? As I swing it through the air, I'm going to stop short, and it's going to keep going and unlodge itself from the staff of my roofing halberd. And I'm kind of aiming for like her foot, leg, thigh. So I think in my mind, for that much damage, I'm pretty sure I just skewered her foot to the ground.
So you think it came out of the weapon and like flipped around?
Yeah. I'm just ping into the ground. Remember that game we played Stretch as a kid? It's like that, but with her rapier.
Good news, Rose. You have your weapon back.
Awesome. I'm so glad I have my weapon back in this way.
Yeah, bad news. It's in your foot. It really hurts.
There's your weapon, traitor.
Thank you. Finally. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Andy, what are you doing?
I'm as far as I know, I'm still in a state.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want to break that effect if I am able to attempt.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
To do so. What were we rolling? Was it Defy Danger?
Yeah, plus wisdom.
All right. Is there anything I can do to can I aid myself? Wisdom. Partial success?
Well, that's going to do it. Maybe it's something about being at death's door where you just don't have the will left to give anymore, that you're able to shake this fog from you and kind of regain your senses.
The moment I do, I want to revert back when the time allows. Like coming to my senses almost and seeing what I've got in my mouth, essentially. Like let go and try to revert back to my goblin form.
Okay, go ahead.
So your hand, your arm is in a gorgeously green bear's mouth, and it lets go, and then immediately just like, I don't know if I can do it, like, sorry, and I start like trying to like wipe your you're like you using the like torn shirt I have to like wipe your the blood off your hand and stuff, and I'm sorry, let me help, and I start like trying to go into my pack and like get out little herbs and things to like try and pack your wound and all this stuff.
Yeah. Can I also try to shake the spell as well?
Yeah, you go ahead and roll and take an aid from Handy for
Aid. Okay,
you basically just add a +1.
A +1. Okay. So just defying danger. So that's 7 if it's plus in, so that would be an 8.
Let's talk about this for a moment.
Sorry, Jeremy.
Because I was 100% intending to just give him a +1. However, yeah, you added a roll. Now, if you want, we can take that roll and use it to its full effect, which you failed. You rolled at an 8 and interfere. When you help or hinder someone you have a bond with, roll plus bond with them. Did you add your bond?
Oh, no. Actually, my bond, it would be a 7 instead of a 6.
Okay, well then we can disregard this conversation.
Ooh. Okay, so sorry.
We'll leave your partial success as is. If it failed like that, I was about to say, well, we can change this narrative if you really want to. But that bumps you up as you have that +1 to a partial, which is enough to come out of this rage. What are you doing?
Because I imagine he's still kind of in the position where he had like the claws in his hand and the bite in his hand, so he's kind of in that position of holding that spear as it kind of like drops and he starts patting it down. He's probably just gonna back away and try and like get away, and I'm just gonna like stumble off.
I can help. And I'm like trying to like follow you with stuff to like try. Yeah.
Because I'm also right there next
You're
to
at
death.
1 hit point as well.
Yeah,
We're both at 1 HP.
we're both at 1 HP, and because everything's cleared as mine. as hurt as he is, he's just trying to exit.
What's that conversation look like between you two?
It's just, and he already, because Tom already has a not so easy relationship with goblins as it is, so he's probably just get away, leave me leave me alone. I gotta go.
I'll stop following it if you leave the building, and Handy will just be like holding, like trying to like make little like a salve or something like as he's following you, and but he'll stop and if you are heading if you just keep walking away.
Yeah, he's kind of like swatting at you. So that's all he's got left in him to do is just swatting, just as he's walking and probably bumping into things, trying to exit the building.
Yeah, Handy will kind of plop down, crisscross applesauce, kind of like looking defeated, and keep mixing this like thing he's got in his lap.
What are you mixing?
I have as a druid poultice and herbs, and I can use it to heal, but I have to actively tend to someone. It's a slow process, so he's like making the stuff to administer that. I'll link it so you can see it.
When you carefully treat someone's wounds with poultices and herbs, heal them of 7 damage and expend a use. How many do you have?
Two.
I imagine it's even slower with like one arm barely functioning.
Yeah.
And the hole that's going through it.
Yeah, so that's what he's going to be kind of doing, for kind of like muttering to himself, like, oh, sorry, and just kind of like go into that to make a use of it.
Mm-hmm. All right, Rose, you have your weapon.
I pull my weapon out of my foot and I try to stab him in his foot.
All right. Go ahead and roll a hack and slash.
Please let me. Oh my gosh! Another 5.
Level 2. Level 2.
So I'm at 5. So I looked up level up, and it's 7 plus your current level. So I have to have 8 experience before I can level up. I'm currently at 5. So maybe
5 plus the one you just got, or the one you just got
5
puts you at 5,
including the one that I just got.
You and this rapier have an interesting relationship at this point, because you're gonna lodge it into the floor because he's just gonna like move his foot out the way, and you are mad, so you drive it down hard, and it got stuck again. So now it's like, so here's a question: how long is your rapier? Because you're a small person.
It's as long. It's in relative size to a halfling, like what a rapier would be to a normal sized human.
Okay, it's proportional.
So, yeah.
I didn't know if it was traditional or not. It would be funny if it was as long as, like Sephiroth, level sword play. Just obscenely long. Yep.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, you bear down on his foot, and he just kind of like, nope. And now your sword is wedged in between 2 floorboards. Mimi, what are you doing?
Yeah, she's just yelling.
So I feel like, albeit in a rage, I feel super vindicated with my, let's call it concern and anger at Rose, right? So I'm not initially inclined towards, shaking off this thing. So I don't even know that I necessarily recognize that I am under the influences of anything, because I'm super vindicated in my concern and anger with it. So I am just going to, now that she's effectively disarmed, I'm just going to use I am the law, and I want to command her to turn herself in for questioning so that she can explain why she's cohorting with the demons.
All right, let's. What are you saying? Let's hear it.
I demand that you turn yourself in for questioning. Why are you cohorting with these demons?
All right, so go ahead and roll I am the law. I am the law. When you give an NPC an order based on your divine authority, roll plus charisma. And you rolled a 6, which means that you failed. So, complications. They do as they please, and you take a -1 forward against them.
Yeah.
They can do what you say, back away cautiously, then flee, or attack you. So, Rose, what do you want to do?
Look sternly.
Yeah. The one person this would probably not work on anyway.
Right.
So are you okay? I want to envision this. As he's doing that, is he kind of like leaning down to get like in her face?
Yeah. I even like take a step forward and kind of like.
Is this where this is going?
I don't know what you think, but she's gonna get a handful of goo and smack it across his face.
That's exactly what I was imagining. As soon as you asked if he had mouth proximity, I was like, oh, we're going for the friendship goo again.
It is so nice. I don't remember having to roll anything for it or not. I don't think so.
He does have to
ingest aim last time.
Right, isn't that what it said?
Yeah.
No, if you want immediate effect, it has to be ingested.
That's right.
So are you aiming to like...
Yes, he's like, turn your... No! Just right in his mouth. I have small hands. They'll fit.
Okay, let's have you roll a Defy Danger Dexterity. You're going to be able to do this. It's just how efficiently you're going to be able to do it, because he has zero authority at the moment. Maybe it's because, and maybe this is an unusual thing for you as well. Like maybe you feel like you've disconnected from your deity.
Me?
No,
yes,
it's fine.
Because there is absolutely no effect as she completely defies you.
I rolled another 5.
It's obvious that she's completely turned to the dark side. Like if I am the law has no effect on her whatsoever, then she's just beyond divine intervention.
Where do you keep your poison?
I'm trying to remember what I said last time, and pretty sure it's like in a small like bag or something, like on her hip or something, where it's easily accessible. Like they're small bottles that just kind of like cork top bottles.
Do you have more than one?
Yes, I have 3 usually at a time.
What are your poison options right now?
I only have golden root.
So that's the only one that you have.
Yes.
On your character. Okay.
Yep. I don't know if I get more as I level up, but that's all I start with is just 1.
Golden root is the friend goo?
Yeah.
Is it a gummy juice vial, or is it like a chalk bag with goo?
Let me see if the description says. Nope. Okay. I was trying. I would say, so it's goldenish in color, but like the consistency is like slime. Like,
my question is,
slime.
do you have to use it? So do you use it like the gummy bears use gummy berry juice? Like how it's like in a little vial with a stopper? Or is it like a chalk bag on your hip that you can just reach into and get your hand gooey? Or do you have to actually take the thing out and then and do that?
What she does is they're in little vials with cork tops, and so she just pops that off and usually just kind of spreads it, since it can either be ingested or just put on, or she can put it on her blade or whatever. That way it's more accessible. But the past couple of times she's just popped the cork off and dumped some, let it get on her hand and put her hand in people's mouths. Not this time.
I'm trying
to think if I'm going to keep my hand.
I'm trying so hard to figure out how to resolve this in a way that makes...
I would say, can I make a suggestion?
Yes, please do.
He's up in her face, as much as he's not right up in her face, and he probably sees her going, because it does take her a little bit to do that. It's not like an instantaneous thing. So as her hand comes to his mouth, he just grabs her hand by the wrist and prevents her from.
Okay. The alternative.
Are you trying to feed me? What?
Yes. Eat it. Let go.
Hey, I want to just force her hand into her mouth.
I'm going to be my own best friend.
Can I make her eat it?
You guys can have a strength off to see who wins the goo eating contest.
Oh, no.
Stop hitting yourself, but with her own booger juice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Roll strength. Ooh. Oh, who's hungry now, Rose? Who's hungry?
I rolled a 7.
Oh.
At least I succeeded.
Oh, is that a nat 12? Oh. Oh no, it's not.
No, it's not a nat
No,
12.
It's not
nat
a
12.
nat 12. Damn it.
It's not a natural 12.
That's so funny. A nat 12. I love it. Yeah. No, so I catch your hand. Like, are you trying to feed me? You're like, yeah, eat it. And I just take your hand and just stick your little fingers right in your own mouth. How's it taste? Looks gross.
So, Rose,
Uh-huh.
Mimi's, you don't remember why you were mad at him.
Well, is that because of the poison? Because I'm not affected by the poison.
Are you not?
Oh.
The poison is no longer dangerous for me to use.
Aw.
I mean, you can say that I'm still affected by it, I guess. I just always, I don't know.
Hmm. It depends on what you mean by dangerous. So, well, that can be a character decision. If you want to say that you are basically, the ghost pirate, not ghost pirate.
Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yep. Built up an immunity, no longer affects you. We can rock with that. Or if you just want to say that your poisons don't have a harmful effect, while this would not necessarily be considered harmful, it's play of words. It's up to you.
I am going to roll a Constitution check and see if it affects her.
Okay. I think that's
Because I feel like she has built up a little bit, but nope. Okay, yeah, it affects her. That's great. That's a 6. One more XP and I level up.
Well, I mean,
yeah. You
wouldn't get a buff
have
for
no
that?
idea why you were mad at me. Matter of fact, you kind of feel the need to like apologize.
I'm sorry you put this gross stuff in my mouth.
So,
Is that what you meant by apologizing?
Well, maybe for some of it, maybe for all of it, but for some reason, Mimi, there is this. I imagine, given your character and your outlook, that there is something probably deeply satisfying about seeing this immediate shift of passivity, where like you exerted your will and won.
Yeah. I'm very confused by her response to my clear like dominance and strength and emotional constitution. So her just thanking me for feeding her hand really kind of throws me off. But yeah, I just say it's okay. Now please explain to me why you were helping the demons.
I wasn't helping the. I wasn't. Hold on. I wasn't helping the demons. What I was doing was using that stuff to befriend one of them who was casting whatever spell it was casting, so that would be friends with me, so that it would stop casting whatever it was casting. And then I was going to lead it out back because it said it was hungry, and instead of eating souls, I was like, hey, what about trash? And it's like, yeah, trash sounds great. So I was going to go let it eat trash instead of souls.
How come you didn't? It was trying to hurt us. It said it wanted to hurt us. You were supposed to fight it. Can she roll a charisma roll to see if I believe her?
I'm not lying.
I mean, I passively know that Mimi watched you walk away with the demon that said he was here to kill us.
You don't have to roll. You either believe her or you don't. It's your character.
I mean, I don't.
I think that would be probably like a discern realities check for Mimi.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'll roll
Because
discern
like
reality.
Rose
Yeah.
is not lying, so she's not like trying to deceive him or anything.
But I'm
Well,
still,
you can also
under
see
the
that her-
effects of a rage.
Well, you can also see that her demeanor has changed.
Her demeanor has changed.
Yeah, she's now very, very passive, very friendly.
Okay. Okay. Do I have any familiarity with her weird hand goo? Do I know?
Well,
that
she
that,
just
like,
said.
Or do I just assume that it's a truth serum?
Well, no, she just said in her explanation that she was using this goo to prevent it from casting a spell and to becoming friendly. So you might be able to put together that
Okay, sure. Yeah.
she's dosed herself.
Yeah, that would explain. That's yep. I didn't catch that first bit, but you're right. Yep. Okay, I will. I mean, I'm still really tentatively like concerned. I will accept her justification for her actions for now.
Well, don't
But there's still
explain
something
the
fishy.
action. Talk through that. Like, you understand?
Rose, it seems really suspicious that we were under attack and you made friends. I don't know what your hand goo is, but I guess it helps with that. So
Oh, it's called Golden Root.
Are we still fighting? And Handy starts walking out from the back.
You don't look so good.
I'm not. Does anybody hurt? I have stuff to fix.
I think you hurt. You should fix. I mean, my foot hurts because somebody, my friend here put a sword through it.
Okay. And Handy goes right, and he starts like taking this this might be a pull. Does anybody remember it was a cartoon, the Thornberries?
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember when the sister tried to make her own shampoo and stuff? It was a sickly, like nasty green crap that she was trying to make her own like 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioners. It was just ridiculous. Anyway, it just looked so gross. There was like twigs coming out of it, and it looked gross. Like you wouldn't want to put it anywhere on you. Anyway, that's what Handy has got, and he starts like shoving it onto your foot and trying to like, this will help. And he just starts like tending to your wounds while you guys continue to talk amongst yourselves.
And when I see Handy all beat up, can I use aid on Handy too? Like while he's repairing Rose, I realize that he's also in need of help.
So
I'm okay.
I'm just like, oh my god, what are you doing? Why you need help too?
I think you have a better one called Lay on Hands that might help.
Yeah. Oh, instead of aid and interfere, you're right.
Yeah, aid and interfere is for basically someone's doing an action and you want to either help them complete their action or prevent them from doing it.
It says that I can give someone a +1 or a -2, but I guess that's a +1 to their roll,
Yes.
not their.
Yeah. I don't have to roll for this one. It'll just be.
Thank you.
Rose, you'll get 7 HP back.
But yes, you should have Lay on Hands.
I'm still learning all of the mechanics. Ooh. Roll a 9. Where did that one come from? Did they do that himself? I rolled a 10. That was crazy.
So Lay on Hands. When you touch someone skin to skin and pray for their well-being, roll plus Charisma. On a 10+, you heal 1d8 damage or remove 1 disease. On a 7 to 9, they are healed, but the damage or disease is transferred to you.
Oh, that'd be bad.
It's okay.
And you can just click that dice. Yeah, you can click that dice in the chat and it'll roll it.
I believe it.
No,
already,
it did roll.
So I got one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. And
I see.
Yeah, as you go to do the Lay on Hands, Handy is like basically passed out. He's just like on the ground, just like patting her foot and finishing up, and just.
So as Handy is like passed out,
basically, just kind of.
Yeah, Rose is going to like. She still has that fur scarf around her, and she's just going to be like, kind of put it on him like a little blankie.
I got the babushka.
Yeah.
The wounds aren't as damaging if you can't see them, you know? You just cover them up.
It's making him comfy.
Out of sight, out of mind.
It's like chicken noodle soup. It's not gonna heal you, but it feels good.
Time, what are you doing?
He's probably about anywhere about this time. He's probably made his way through the outside and is probably just like slumped. It was like sit down and just like slumped up against probably one of the posts. As other, he's just sitting there breathing, trying to catch his breath.
While you're sitting outside, you know, everything felt unusually still. And then in a moment, it wasn't. And you know when you're in the middle of something and you get hit with, like, you hit your shin or something, and the pain is immediate, but it takes, like, a beat for your body to register that you just did something incredibly painful to yourself. And so you're like, you continue on for a moment, and then it's like, oh my God, this hurts. Well, that's what happens to a handful of the patrons in the bar as, you know, everything comes back to full speed and conversations continue until certain people realize that they're on the floor or severely injured. And then the conversation turns into wails and screams as people are starting to realize what's happening. And then all of you are blipped out of existence. And it is very dark.
Well, that was a fun game, y'all. Thanks for playing.
Yep, that's where we're going to call it. Have a good one. No, man, it is a weird... Have any of you ever teleported anywhere? Let's start there.
No.
Yeah,
Rose would not have.
time would have.
I
Okay.
probably haven't. No.
What is teleporting like, Time?
It probably almost gives like that sense of almost like when you're on a roller coaster for that first drop, like something just kind of like shoots up and you rise. Like you kind of feel like almost like you just like fall real quick and then catch yourself on like a downward fall. So you're almost kind of like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you feel kind of weightless for a minute and you feel your kind of stomach kind of rise up and then all of a sudden just and it just drops.
How does time work? Not time, the character, time, the measurement of existence. How does it work while you're teleporting? Because you instantaneously, more or less, move from one place to another. But what
Mhm.
happens to you during the moment of transportation? Does it happen in a blink of an eye, or is it a place that you exist in for a short or very long period while
It's,
traversing?
it's almost I'd say it's almost kind of a short period of time. Like you kind of just see like depending on I guess depending on the user and what I guess what their kind of essence is, you'd see kind of like that whoever player associated with that individual would be in a
Hmm.
sense. Like you just see like almost it's almost like Northern Light watching Northern Lights for maybe a couple like half second or two
Hmm.
as you're kind of just like you feel yourself like lifting up and like falling. You just see streaks of color and then you just land and where
So
you're at.
it's like how the Asgardians travel. Big
Yeah.
old light tube,
Yeah.
just kind of blipping into one place to another. Okay.
Like a couple, like it feels like it takes seconds, but it's probably like instantaneous. But like for them, it's just like, and then, oh,
So it's enough time for you to be aware that you are no longer in the plane of existence that you're in, that
yeah,
you're like, I'm somewhere else.
yeah. And by the time you realize you're somewhere else, well, you're actually somewhere else.
And then when you land at your corresponding location, it's kind of like the bottom end of the roller coaster where all that weight comes in and you kind of just like gravity into your body back at a new place.
Yeah.
So you guys were in the bar and then all of a sudden lights are streaking past you. How are you guys processing this?
I think Handy would have been like essentially unconscious for the majority of it, but then as they come to, he's laying kind of face down and goes like ah, and tries to push out, and he just right onto the floor, so he's pushing against nothing. Like
Mhm.
back in school when you were like asleep on a desk and thought you were falling, so you just slam the desk all of a sudden. So it's just like for him just quiet and just slamming, like an inch downward. I'm like trying to figure out what happened.
Well, you're gonna wake up on a stone floor, but Mimi and Rose, how was the trip?
Disorienting and unfamiliar. Mildly concerning. I've never experienced anything like this, and it happened against my like I didn't do this thing, so I'm just a little freaked out and hesitant and guarded, let's say.
Rose is confused. Nothing like this has ever happened to her before.
Probably eyeballing
And-
your poison suspiciously.
Been like, oh. I mean, it's still. Ugh. Her first instinct, though, is her hand goes to her pouch where she keeps her specials, like crystal figurines, and it's still there. And she'll take out her little rabbit, her little special rabbit one, and kind of like sit there and kind of rub her thumb between, like the ears are folded back against its skull, like rabbits do, and so she just kind of rubs her thumb like along the ears as she kind of looks around and is like, this is not normal.
And then poof, you're in a stone room.
This is definitely not where we were.
It's just the four of you. Three of
So
you
we see
standing.
Time?
Well, actually, two of you are standing, both Mimi and Rose. Time is sitting on a chair, and Handy's on the floor. Still,
Does he still have his scarf?
the scarf did transport with him. Yes. And y'all have just like, you're now in a room with no one else. And you look around and there are torches on the wall, except they're not on the wall. They're just kind of hovering near the wall. And they're casting a blue light in the room. And there are a variety of bookshelves adorned with old dusty tomes and really unique looking trinkets. There's an entire glass display case against one wall filled with a variety of what look like crystal balls, and each one of them's kind of emitting a different color. And there's a large floor-to-ceiling window that takes up a good 20 feet of one wall. It's just like the whole thing. And it's this weird tinted glass, and you can see that it looks out towards the village. You can hear through one of the doorways that opens up into this large archway and seems to connect to some other rooms, someone kind of rustling about.
I would like to, what is it called? Discern realities.
All right. Let's go ahead and roll a discern realities. So when you closely study a situation or person, roll plus wisdom. Either way, take +1 forward when acting on the answers. And is that a 3?
I'm done with this game.
You rolled a 3.
It's so much experience. You're the only one level.
I leveled up, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
We'll do that later, but
Oh shit! I was look over and we've got Palpatine in the game. I didn't even realize.
That's my babushka. That's the closest thing I had with me.
so there's complications. It says either way.
I just look like Mary.
Do I still get to ask the questions or no? Oh, here we go. I guess I don't get to ask questions. I just fail.
Okay.
So.
Well, what are you doing?
Who's that?
Nothing, apparently.
Well, no,
she's
like
just
what,
looking around.
how are you looking around?
I'm gonna go look at the crystal balls because they're shiny and pretty.
Okay. You walk over to the case, and they're in a case, but there's no glass on them. Like, they're just kind of suspended in a space. And which one are you curious about, and what are you doing with it?
Various colors and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She would be interested in a green colored one.
Okay, and there is a green colored crystal in front of you. What are you doing?
So when you say it's green colored, does it look like there's green smoke inside the crystal ball, or is the crystal ball itself green tinted?
You try really hard to focus on them, but it's like the harder you try to look at it, the less your eyes are able to comprehend. It's green. The glass is green. The inside is green. It's moving green, but you can't tell if it's one thing or the other. And you actually, you look at it for enough time and you're like, is it really green? So you're a little confused about it.
I'm gone. And you said they're are they on shelves, or is it just kind of like a bookshelf but without shelves, and they're all kind of floating inside of that?
They are kind of nested on pillows, and they're not all on the same level. So they're kind of like stepped and staggered across the case. And there's 8 of them.
Can she reach the green one?
Yes, you can.
I'm going to poke at it. She's just going to like kind of reach out and kind of like poke at it.
You're reaching out to touch this orb. From the doorway walks in a tall elderly man. Kind of wild looking. He's got long blue hair, a big blue beard, and he's got all these things kind of like trinkets woven into his beard. So like when he walks, he jingles. And he's wearing a long robe that's kind of a patchwork. Looks pretty shoddy, but it's got stars and moons and various cloths, and it looks like someone just patchworked something together. As he's walking in, he's looking at Candy, who's on the floor. Oh, I'm glad you guys have made it. Just please do not touch anything. As he's saying that, your finger makes contact with the green orb and cracks.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It is a loud crack. You might think like, little glass breaking. No, this is shattering. It booms and echoes and resonates through the stone walls. And he just says, "Oh dear. Oh, that's not good."
What happens now?
Well, the work that you will be doing just got complicated. I start?
Work we will be doing?
Work you must do, for existence is now in greater threat. It was in threat before, but now compounding problems. I have to add that to the list.
Why? It just made noises. I mean, it was loud.
Yes, those are tied to the planes of existence, and you effectively just damaged one, like an entire plane of existence.
What plane was the green
Oh.
one?
That was an important one.
Oh.
And why bring us into a room where stuff like that is just readily available?
What about entering a strange room permits you to touch things that don't belong to you?
I wasn't asked to come in this room, and they were shiny, and they were at my height, and they were just asking to be touched at that point. I like shiny things.
To be fair, I thought about touching it too.
Oh, you guys are going to be the end of me.
Are you sure that you got the right people? Because I have a feeling you didn't.
Well, see, I cast out my message to everyone, and it turns out that you were the only 4 to respond.
Oh, you were the one talking in my head. You shouldn't do that. I don't like it.
I will keep that in mind for the future. No guarantees.
I want to discern realities and just kind of confirm to myself if I think this guy might be God or not. Because I totally thought God was talking to me.
Let's try to make the habit of describing the thing you want to do and it triggering a move. So instead of saying, I want to discern reality, say, I have some weird suspicions. I want to observe this guy. I want to study him. I want to investigate. I want to look around the room.
Okay.
And if I'm doing my job right, which I hope to, that's my cue to be like, okay, it sounds like you want to discern realities. Go ahead and roll this.
Okay, ready? Okay.
Or if I don't catch on to that, then after describing what you're doing, then you can be like, so I'm going to roll a discern realities. But start with the narrative first, which is I want to do the thing of.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm going to look at this guy, and I was under the impression that God was talking to me. So this revelation that this guy was the guy talking inside my head.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of like, I'm going to look him up and down. Like, is he like deific, like a slight glow that, like, is there just anything that stands out special about him? Or was I completely mistaken about my interpretation of the voice in my head? Because I'm certain I'm not schizophrenic, so I thought God was the only answer.
Go ahead and roll your discern reality.
Okay. Deuces times deuce.
All right, well, you rolled a 4. So it very well could be God. You take a +1 forward if you act on that. But you don't get to ask any questions.
So as soon as I realize that this guy's probably God, I just prostrate myself on the ground in front of him. Like I just
What
drop.
are you doing?
Shh, God. This is the God that was talking to us earlier. Stop. You got to show respect.
Would you please get off the ground?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you God?
I'm not God.
Or
I thought he'd be taller.
Well, am I God?
Are you a god?
Oh my gosh, God doesn't even know if he's God.
He stops and like goes dead silent and is doing like you see his gears grinding right now. He is mulling over this with some serious thought.
Rose is going to go over to Handy and be like, I think we're in trouble if God doesn't even know if he's God or not.
He's just being humble.
The things Rose would say to Mimi if she wasn't affected by her friendship goo right now.
Your friendship goo, it says that it lasts until someone proves otherwise, right?
Yes.
You take a swing
Which
at you.
I would say, like, I know, like, are you asking for like a time cap?
Well, so I think it's interesting either way. It would be really funny if you were unintentionally friendified by this accidental little oopsie or a goopsie, you might say, where you're basically involuntarily his friend until he does something to prove otherwise, which could be like the rest of the campaign until like the very end when something happens and all of a sudden you snap out of it. Or we could say that it has kind of like a timeline where in the way your body processes other toxins and things, and we can give it a short time frame, a long time frame. Maybe it's magical in nature and so it's enchanted and takes a long time. But I'm gonna kind of leave that up to you in deciding, because this is going to affect everything else moving forward.
Yeah. I would say that it would probably only last a day at most. Like since it is, I'm trying to think, because we have the 2 different options of it.
Because it could be fun if like it's a permanent thing, but that also seems a little
Stifling.
overpowering.
I would say that if ingested,
Wait, didn't he take a swing on her?
Not since
not
I
since
gooed her.
not since
Not
he
since ago? Oh, okay.
I'm a fan of words as written, personally. Right? So, like, but that really does put us to the point where we're friends forever. And we never really resolve. Because as long as you're amiable, I'm good.
How about we make it that you roll for it once a day, and like
Yeah.
any
if it's
creature
ingested.
that has it can roll to yes.
Okay.
Or you could say with her having exposure to it, her like you could shorten that time frame down for her
Or
specifically.
get like an advantage on the rolls or
Yeah.
something.
Well, no, I don't think I'm God.
Wild. Insert existential crisis.
I mean, having the little balls there that seem to affect other realms.
Well, normally there's not people in here poking their hands in things that don't belong to them.
Can we fix it?
Again, why would you bring random people, into a room with items of that nature?
Well, I could have left you there to die if that would have been your prerogative.
We
No.
were winning.
Well, you guys beat each other to death. I do not call that winning in my book.
I mean, that's perspective.
Well,
I thought you said you weren't God. How do you know? You weren't there? I didn't see you in the room.
as you might have seen by, I don't know, the planar orbs that are sitting over here, that I manage a lot on my plate. Not just trying to thwack a small person, so vindictive. You all will learn, it's okay. There are some world-ending things approaching. How much do you guys know about the planar system?
Just heard that word for the first time.
Is that like a new farm technique?
No, it
Do you
is
mean
not.
like other dimensions of reality?
Yes.
No.
I have a little
So there are. Where do I start?
knowledge
There's
of
so many
those
things happening.
situations.
There are a few things happening right now that are problematic. They all kind of revolve around the planar systems, but they're happening on 2 or 3 different fronts. So there are 8 planes of existence: the material, the spiritual, there's heaven and hell, there's arcane and ethereal, and then chaos and order. If you can imagine, each one is like an island floating in water, and each one is on its own little.
I have a question.
Okay, yes.
What's an island?
Oh, we are in trouble. There is a lot that's about. Okay, it is a piece of land surrounded by water.
That sounds terrifying.
Now imagine all of your existence surrounded by nothingness. We're trying to get metaphorical here, so
She's
you
gonna
can
look around her like, what do you mean nothingness? There's stuff. There's stuff.
Okay, right now we are on the material plane. That is the plane. All of existence that we know is encapsulated in this material plane. That's where we are. Are you
The sky's full
Okay.
of water.
And we're surrounded by water, which is made of nothing.
Yes.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
There is a balance to the planar systems, and when it is out of balance, it corrects itself by resetting
so we don't
existence.
have to worry about it.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind.
See, when it gets too far gone, everything is wiped from existence and starts over. So it's kind of a big deal. And the little poke you did tipped the scale for one of those planes into the reset direction. So thank you for that.
Well,
Good
were
job.
we okay? Well,
Yeah.
maybe it needed to be reset. Maybe it was all wonky anyway.
Yeah, that's my question.
No, I
Is
had
which one
never
did
thought
she
of that
tap?
before.
Do we just have to fix the green ball?
Maybe a
Yeah,
reset's
like, why'd
a
you bring us
good
here if we had to bring-
idea.
If we fix the green ball, but the green
no.
ball, you made me touch the green ball because if I wasn't here to touch the green ball wouldn't have been broken. It's your fault.
That's pretty sound logic.
What have I done?
Okay, let's start with which one did she break?
The green one.
Green, spiritual, demonic, angelic.
Handy, is that where you're from?
It might be.
What?
Oh no.
There
I'm so
is
sorry, Handy.
no goblin plane. I'm sorry to inform you. That was the the plane of order.
Andy just starts sobbing.
Well, if it had been a demon plane, I wouldn't have said much. But
Well, there's hell, and hell has its own problems. See, there are two things happening. There's more than two, but the two main ones. There's the necromancer, the shadowmancer. I don't know. You met him. He had the imps.
He wasn't very nice.
Yeah,
I don't
he
like him.
is trying to gather power. His name is Kaus, and
that
he
answered that
is
question.
operating in ways that are creating a unnecessary rupture and merging of the planes, which is causing the scales of existence to tilt. And he is searching for powers in ways that are dangerous to everything else, but he thinks he can control it. He is aware of the damage he's doing, and he thinks if I just get enough power, I can overcome this, and I will rule all of existence, all the realms. But then,
I'm sorry, I wasn't fully paying attention. Did you say you wanted to rule all the realms? Because that doesn't sound very good.
no, the necromancer, the not nice one.
Oh,
But you
okay, that
want to
makes more
rule all
sense
the
then.
realms instead of him. So
No,
we're gonna help.
the realms aren't for ruling.
But you have all these balls that control him.
I don't control them.
Yeah.
They just have a connection.
What if I touched another one? What if two of them touched?
Yeah,
I
what
think
if
we
one
should
of them
probably have this
breaks?
conversation in another room.
Yeah, bros don't touch the
And you guys all blip
world
into
ending
another room.
balls.
Oh
Which-
my gosh, I hate this thing. Where am I now?
Which, if you're basically in like a dining room,
It
and you
tickles
can
after
look.
a while.
You can look out the doorway and see that the room you were just in was just like across the hall.
Why couldn't we have just walked?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is habit. I think, and it happens for most
Is there
things.
food on the dining room table?
Oh, you are God.
No.
I'm really confused.
So
are you not my God? You're a God.
I'm
no God.
no. We established I'm not a god. See,
I mean, but you keep saying God things though. So
Yeah.
I have a quick question about.
No,
So
you just have
said
small
we-
understanding. That's your problem, not mine. The world exists without you, and will
kinda
continue
look
to do
over at
so.
time, and I'm like, did this guy just call us stupid?
Yes.
Uninformed,
Insignificant.
naive, maybe.
I don't know. I just took out a whole plane of existence.
I'm not sure why this guy just brought us here to insult us.
So question. You said that when we looked out the window, we could see the village. Would we know what building we're in?
You might give me. I need my moves list. What's it called? It's the one about. All I have is not discern reality. The one that's about.
Spout lore.
Yes.
What's it called? Spout lore.
Spout lore.
Ooh.
Natural 12.
Lore. When you consult your accumulated knowledge about something, roll plus intelligence. The GM will tell you something interesting and useful about the subject relevant to your situation. So
I can't roll for anything else except lore.
There you go.
you notice, you were having this conversation and the window caught your eye and you went to approach it and looked out at the village. And you could see that it's the village as you would see it from the north if you were up north and looking south. And you kind of walk up and kind of hit on the glass, and it's not glass, it's stone. And it's a really dark colored tint. That's why it confused you, because you're like, man, this is really dark glass. And you're able to put together that you surmise that you're on the other side of the channel. If you guys recall in our world building episode, there was a major event that caused a stone to appear in the side of the mountain that looked like it had been worked and polished. And it was called the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are on the other side of it, or should I say inside of it?
Whoa. So only Rose knows this.
Only Rose is, yes, the Rose is the only one that went and looked
Noticed.
and pulled this together and is like, oh, we're in that weird, this has to be that glass rock that makes up that big cube in the side of the mountain. So whether or not she shares that or brings that up, that's up to her. But yes, she's the only one that at this moment that knows it.
We'll find out.
As far as we know, that's just a scrying window. We could be anywhere. We could be in outer space.
So, okay, look, there are a handful. The world has lots of big problems, and at times, some people need to step up and fix them. Not everyone is capable of doing that. Some people are. We have the necromancer, and he's a problem. There's also a coup going on in hell. That's wonderful. Well, see, apparently, word on the street is that some succubus tried to ascend into heaven by, like, extinguishing their evil, and so that made her archdemon quite mad. And so he thinks the devil, capital D devil, has gone a little soft. So he is collecting power and trying to overthrow the Lord of Hell to run it himself. So, God, I don't even want to get into that one.
Do you want me to touch the hell one and reset it? Would that make it better?
What do you mean?
That's a great idea.
Well, you said that since I broke that one, that I pushed it closer to being. No, listen to the plan. It's a good plan.
No,
it makes sense.
No.
If you break one, we all die. You seem very
disturbed by this time. Why are you suddenly so interested?
You already tried and destroyed order. We don't need you causing more problems.
But he said that it resets everything. So if we reset hell, there's no coup happening.
It sounds like a sound plan.
You've also almost reset order.
Well, maybe order needed to be reset because have you seen the state of the world?
Yes, but as I said, we don't need to cause more problems than you've already caused.
Rose, as you go to take your seat, you fall out of your chair.
Ow.
See, it has already begun.
The chairs are revolting. That was the chair playing. But okay. So, no more touching the fine. So why did you call us here in the first place? Because, you're throwing a lot of at this.
What are we
First of all, now I'm in
do?
trouble for resetting order or whatever. Then you were telling us about the coup in hell. Do you want us to go to hell? Is that what you just called us here to say to us?
No, that's just one of many big problems. Well, see, it was the really big ones at the moment were the necromancer and the demon, because both of them were trying to destabilize the planar systems, and the planar system isn't necessarily a problem, but it would be if it breaks, because then it resets itself. So it's kind of a threat too, depending on how you look at it. But no, first it was just those problems, but there's now a third problem on the table, which is the hole that you poked into order, which now has to be patched, and I do not have a way to do that yet. I will have to consult my tomes for a considerable amount of time. No one's ever poked an orb like this.
Just to
Congratulations,
clarify,
you're the first in history.
are you the
Can you write
guardian
it
of
down?
all the reality planters, or
I'm sorry, they're not planters.
no? Like you grow the realities, right? Like the different. Like
Do you
the-
think I
the
put them in
reality-
dirt and water them?
I mean, no. You clearly
Or
keep them
maybe
on
I
pillows,
just
but
speak affectionately to it and say you're growing up so well.
It might work.
I hope so.
I will try it.
So, are there other guardians?
And he starts
I'm just
writing this
trying
down.
So, are there other people that have orbs like these, or are these the only orbs that exist of all the planters?
Well,
Which Fallout shelter is this?
Also, can you write my name down since I was the first one in history to do that? I want, could you be like, Rose poked a hole in order?
And
Oh,
has
it's
now
already
stabilized the
been
whole plane of
noted.
existence. Untold
Also, I
lives
would like
and
to go
danger.
to hell. If you're telling us to go to hell and you want to, anyway, I need to go
Mimi
talk
sort
to
of
somebody.
side eyes
Probably
her.
don't want to go to hell.
Perfect. Like that's right on par with what I expected.
y'all are a very odd bunch of people. I want you to know that. I've been around a very long time, and you are the strangest folks I've ever met. And I'm deeply upset that you're the ones I have to work with.
Well, we're not
Can you
exactly
explain to me
either.
why you would like to go to hell? That's a little unusual.
I don't want to.
She
Just
made
for the
friends with
record.
a demon earlier.
His name.
Did you know
I
that
wrote
that
down.
is risky for your soul to make
I
friends with a
keep
demon?
trying to tell her this.
Well, okay. So he seemed really nice once he was like he didn't even he's being beaten up. by the dude that you were talking about, the big scary necro dude. Like, I don't think he wants to work for him. Like, why are demons, like, are they inherently bad? Or maybe it's just because they have bad leadership. What if we have new leadership and then demons wouldn't be so bad?
Can you tell me what do you say to water that does not want to be wet?
I don't know. Be like, hey, you don't have to be wet if you don't want to. And then because sometimes you leave a puddle, right? Like there's a puddle and the next day it's gone. So maybe that water didn't want to be wet anymore. Explain that to me. Where does it go? It just disappears.
All right. I'm also
Tell
noting
it to
that
get
you
into
are a
the
lost
freezer.
cause. I would like to apologize to the rest of you in advance.
Is this back on track? What exactly are you looking for us to do exactly? I'm more used to following direct instruction. You're kind of what needs fixed?
Well, okay. I can put it to you this way: you can do nothing, and we can all die, or
Yeah,
you can
not up top of my
attempt to do
list.
something, and maybe we don't die. Is that clear enough?
Where in your omnipotent knowledge should
So
we
do
start?
we have to do all the things? Do you want us to take over hell first, or do we have to save order first?
Now this Shadow
I just want to say
Master.
now, if we take over hell, we cannot let Rose become the new king.
I don't want to be
Why
king
don't we
anyway.
just keep Rose away from that plane?
That's what I'm saying.
So this
I'm
Shadow,
right here, you know.
Shadow,
Are you patting me on the head?
yes,
Look,
this
let's just
Shadow
start here.
Master guy. He seems to be the root of this problem. How do we go about dealing with him?
Let's start with something more simple, and he grabs a handful of cups and pours you all a drink. Drink
Does this
this;
water
it
wanna
will
be
make
wet?
you. It will make you feel. As he pours your
I'm
cup,
so
he overfills it, and you're not sure if it's intentional. It looked intentional, but some spills into your lap. This will make you feel much better.
I don't know what you mean by that, but okay. She just starts like wiping her pants.
Okay, well, if you're not going to drink, I am. Jesus, I'm just everyone's sitting there and pours
I'll
himself a
just
glass, takes
I
it.
didn't.
throw it back.
Oh yeah. You said we were in a dining hall, correct?
You're in a dining room.
Yeah. Handy is while everybody was talking, Handy kind of like got onto one of the tables and had found some bread and was like drying his tears with one and like snacking on the other. So he's been like doing that the whole time, trying to like calm himself down. And then he takes the cup and
you are fully healed.
oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, the time was drinking out of frustration.
And we leveled up. Oh my goodness.
So we're all.
I leveled up. I don't know about y'all.
Working on it.
Okay, well, you guys have the capacity to do something. That's the end result here. That there are problems that need resolving, and you guys, I don't know how, but are the ones capable of doing it. Lord help us. Whatever Lord you believe in, sir. I'm sure any one of them would be willing to pray to at this point in time, given we should probably all be praying, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, all the time. It's important.
So Shadowmancer is thugging stuff up and trying to find more power to unfuck his fuck up.
Well, he doesn't feel that he is, as you say, fucking up. He is
Okay.
searching for power and knows he's doing damage and thinks, like all who seek power, that he has the ability to control it once he has it.
Okay.
Never works out. It would be nice if this was the last reset.
So what next?
Want to reset.
It gets very old very fast.
All right. So
What's next? Well, it sounds like you guys are going to hell.
why don't we first work on the hole that Rose poked into order?
He said he didn't know how to fix it.
I have to do some studying. It will take some time. Do you know how to fix an entire plane of existence just like that?
I mean, if it's just like poking the hole, then all you got to do is take it to a glass blower and
You can stop
put
talking.
some new glass on it.
I sort of expected you'd know how. It's like a furniture maker who has a bunch of chairs on his counter. If someone walks in and breaks a chair, that guy's supposed to know how to fix it. You have a bunch of pillows with like just planters full of universes, and you don't know how to fix them if they break. Seems kind of irresponsible. Just saying.
See, my buddy here knows what I'm. Do you have any food? I'm hungry.
I can't wait for you guys to leave.
Handy hands you a soggy piece of bread.
Bloody
Thank
bread.
you.
Soggy
Ew.
bloody bread.
She'll
No, it's
Take
it's,
the-
it's I'm sorry. You were wiping your tears with it, not the blood.
tears, yeah.
Yeah.
There might be some blue
Yeah,
stains.
She'll pick off the blue stains, but
I don't think going to hell is the proper direction.
Well,
This was
That was
how I
just
planned
eat
on
them,
spending the time
a
after
get some
hours.
rest, and tomorrow you're on your way.
However,
I have work to
probably
do.
feel
Goodbye. And poof, he's gone.
He just left us at his house. This guy's crazy.
You can see that he's just teleported into the adjacent room.
you could have just walked.
I'm not used to walking.
Where's the
Maybe you
bathroom?
should.
You're gonna make us spend the night here. Can you at least show us around?
Yeah, where's my bedroom?
There's a room. You can find it along with the bathroom. And I've also made it so that if you touch anything, it will hurt you. So please don't touch any of the things that don't look like they need touching.
So if I sleep in a bed, it's going to hurt me? That doesn't sound very comfortable.
You look around and you see.
said anything.
You look around and you can see that there are a variety of items that now have like a glue blow to words. Glue
A glue.
glow. It's that time. And you might be able to insight that those are probably the things that are now enchanted and not worth touching. And so it might be a little obnoxiously bright, but they're now all glowing and you can't touch them. And with that,
Or should
we're going to end the episode.
Woo!
And move on to our end of session.
Come on. Yeah, let's go to hell. No.
I'm going to hell. Who's coming with me?
Mimi's still my friend for now. If I go to hell, he ain't gonna be my friend no more.
So, end of session. When you reach the end of session, choose your bonds that you feel is resolved, completely explored, no longer relevant, or otherwise ask the player of the character you have the bond with if they agree. If they do, mark XP and write a new bond with whomever you wish. Once bonds have been updated, look at your alignment. If you fulfilled that alignment at least once this session, mark XP. Then answer these 3 questions as a group. So let's start with bonds. Anyone feel like one of their bonds might have been resolved?
Maybe one of mine, Handy, feeling the hellish touch of fire.
Yep, I agree.
That feels
Yeah.
definitely resolved.
I feel like that one's known.
All right, so go ahead and mark XP, mark that one off, and you can write a new one based on how today's played out with any one of the characters you see fit. Anyone else have something that they think they may have resolved with one of the other players?
I don't think, I know I temporarily became friended to Mimi, but I don't think that resolved my bond because Rose still feels like Mimi still doesn't believes in how she handles things
What was your bond?
for some weird reason. Mimi insulted me by never believing in how I handle situations. He still doesn't believe me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fair.
because
Which-
my last
fair.
bond resolved, but I feel like a new bond was created in that you told me that I'm supposed to trust you. And so I'm sort of just like, she seemed pretty sure that I'm supposed to trust her, but she's doing funny stuff. I'm not sure.
So your bond could be something like she says that I should, or she says I should trust her, but she hasn't earned it yet.
Yeah, that's, yep, all those words like that, yep.
Okay, so we got one.
We can't add another bond until we resolve an existing one, correct?
Right.
Darn.
I mean, if you only have 1 or 2, you could, if you want to add a third bond with a new player now, you can.
All right.
But we're going to limit it to 3 because if you start having 40 bonds, it starts getting muddled. You just need to have kind of a main reflection of your relationship in kind of a simple statement. So the next one is alignments. Did anyone hit their alignment? Nope. Okay, we'll move on from there. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
I did hit my alignment. I took a rapier to the calf instead of hurting a bystander in the bar.
So what's your alignment?
Good, committed to protecting those who cannot, will put own self in harm's way without consideration.
I think you nailed that.
Yeah.
So you can mark XP for that. And so then the 3 questions. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't poke
Oh, for pistol balls.
weird balls.
Some guys got planters full of universes.
All right, so that's a win. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy?
I
Handy.
don't think so.
Ourselves.
Handy was a bear.
It was love the whole time. It was inside of us.
It's friendship.
So no, and did you loot a memorable treasure
No.
besides
No.
friendship?
No.
Darn.
No.
The stories we made along the way.
All right, so if you have enough experience, you can level up,
Da, 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 da.
which Rose absolutely has failed her way into level 2.
What is the requirement for leveling up?
8 experience.
It is 7. It is 7 plus your level.
Okay.
And anything that you go above it. So,
So
like right
8.
now, I have
Oh,
9
yeah, no, I'm
experience.
good.
I'll start at level 2 with 1 experience.
Right.
It just carries over.
Yeah.
All right, well, that'll
Mm.
wrap it up for us. Tune in next time to figure out what it looks like for our adventurers to try going to hell or saving the green planter orb or the necromancer. Who knows? We'll see you next time. Boop.